Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Christina from Our Good Home. Today we are on Christmas baking episode 5, gingerbread fudge. This is a new recipe for me. I can't remember the actual source of the recipe, but I did play with the proportions of some of the ingredients, so I'm going to say this is my own creation. This is a condensed milk fudge, which is a pretty common recipe out there, but this one is gingerbread flavored. I'm not totally happy with the end result, but my husband said it tastes good, so I'll still be giving this to my family. They're not quite as discerning because they just love all baked goods. Technically, this is a no-bake recipe, but you do have to use the stove, possibly the microwave, but I think using the stove is better than the microwave because you can have some more control. The bottom of this fudge ends up kind of sticky, as you'll see towards the end of the video, and I'm not really sure how to fix that, but we're just going to go with it. So what you're going to need to make this fudge is 1 2/3 cups of chocolate chips. I'm using semi-sweet, but you could use milk if that's what you prefer. You'll also need 1 1/4 cup of sweetened condensed milk, 2 tablespoons of molasses, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice mix, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. Basically, you're just going to combine all these ingredients in a pot on the stove and heat it over medium-low. Make sure you stir that pretty often just to make sure it doesn't burn. Once this is all stirred and melted and looking good, you're going to just pour that into a lined dish. I'm using a food storage container, not technically a baking dish, but that's fine because this just goes in the fridge to set. Make sure that you do line your dish though so that it's easy to get the fudge out. All you have to do now is just let it sit in the fridge until it's nice and firm. Then you can cut it and put it back in the fridge or keep it in the freezer. I haven't actually frozen and thawed mine yet, so I'm not sure what the texture is like coming out of the freezer, but I anticipate it's going to be just fine. I really wanted this fudge to taste like gingerbread, which is why molasses and ginger are used. You don't necessarily need to use pumpkin pie spice, but I like it, so I did. This fudge tastes pretty chocolatey because, of course, there's chocolate in it. So if you wanted it to taste more like gingerbread, you could swap in white chocolate instead of using dark or milk chocolate. I didn't plan this as well as I wanted, so I didn't buy white chocolate. I'd actually bought the chocolate chips for something else and then decided, hey, maybe I should try to make some fudge. But it turned out pretty nicely, and overall I'm pleased with it. You can see here how the fudge left behind some sticky residue on the parchment. I don't really know what happened or how to prevent this. It's kind of hard to pull off, but I was able to get the fudge off the parchment paper and it didn't look too bad. I think the top of the fudge has a nice texture and overall it looks pretty nice. I think you probably could top this with some sprinkles or frosting if you really wanted to make it look a little extra special, but I'm leaving it just plain as it is. I hope that you enjoyed this nice and simple recipe. Of course, it's not perfect, but that's okay. I think it still tastes nice and it looks nice for the holidays. If you plan to make this fudge, please let me know how it turns out. Also, be sure to check out the rest of my baking videos, which will be linked in my Christmas playlist at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a great rest of your day.